We are live outside County Courthouse on day 3 of the Tracy Jefferson robbery case. Yesterday, Mr. Jefferson's accuser, Paul Andrews, took the stand under direct examination by the prosecution and told his version of the events that night in September that led to the arrest of one of the city's most beloved sports heroes. He spoke eloquently and clearly, his voice occasionally cracking under what seemed to be genuine emotion. If his testimony is to be believed, then there is a side to Tracy Jefferson of which the general public, and perhaps even his closest friends, are unaware. Now, due to the tremendous media attention on this case, and to avert any potential disruption, Judge London has ordered the courtroom closed to the general public. Only the attorneys, witnesses, and jury will be allowed inside the courtroom. Also, in a highly controversial decision, the judge yesterday granted the defense's motion to allow the accuser's past history to be used in Tracy Jefferson's defense. Today, lead defense attorney Barry Schlegel is expected to take advantage of this as he begins his cross-examination of Jefferson's accuser.
Mr. Andrews, may I remind you you're still under oath? Mr. Schlegel, you can proceed with your cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Andrews, I'd first like to thank you for your candor and your courage. I'm sure this has been a difficult time for you. I trust you're holding up well?
I'm all right, yes.
I'm glad. Now, you testified you went with Mr. Jefferson to the bar after the fundraising dinner. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did he coerce you in any way?
No.
You went to the bar voluntarily, did you not?
Yes.
And the two of you had just attended a fundraising dinner, am I right?
Yes.
A dinner which you also attended voluntarily, isn't that right?
Yes.
In fact, you paid to attend this dinner, didn't you? A dinner the purpose of which was to try and get your money, am I right?
I suppose so.
Mr. Andrews, how could you not know exactly what was on Mr. Jefferson's mind when you went next door to share a drink with him?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance?
Your Honor, I am merely trying to prove the witness's state of mind during this alleged robbery.
I'm going to allow it. The witness will answer.
I knew he wanted money for his foundation, yes.
Do you think he had reason to believe you wanted to give it to him?
I don't understand.
Well, Mr. Andrews, you have a reputation for being, shall we say, generous with your money.
Objection.
Goes to pattern of behavior, Your Honor.
I've already ruled that Mr. Andrews' past behavior is admissible, Mr. Elbers. Objection overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Andrews, it's not as if you've never given money away willingly, is it?
No.
Well, in fact, you give money away pretty freely, don't you?
I don't understand the question.
Well, let me make it clear for you. Less than a week before this alleged robbery, you gave over $500 to an organization called the United Way. Is that so, Mr. Andrews?
Yes.
And just a few days before that, on August 24th, you gave $200 to the local Boys and Girls Club. Is that so?
Your Honor, I renew my objection to this line of questioning. Mr. Andrews' spending habits are completely irrelevant, immaterial, and what's more, they're highly prejudicial.
Your Honor has already ruled on this. The state's entire case rests upon whether my client forced Mr. Andrews to give him his money. I'm entitled to bring in Mr. Andrews' past spending history.
He's right, Mr. Elbers. Objection overruled.
Your Honor.
I said objection overruled, but you've made your point, Counselor. Perhaps you should move on.
Mr. Andrews, how were you dressed that evening?
Objection.
I'm going to allow it.
He's wearing a suit. A green suit.
A green suit. Isn't it a fact, Mr. Andrews, that you were wearing a teal-green $3,000 Armani suit?
Yes, it was Armani.
And weren't you also wearing a Rolex watch?
Yes.
$7,000 Rolex watch, isn't that so?
Yes.
Let's see what else you were wearing, Mr. Andrews, shall we? I have a list provided by the police. A $400 necktie, $300 diamond and gold platinum cufflinks, shoes, $700, shirt, $200. Mr. Andrews, just what kind of reaction did you expect dressing in such a provocative way?
I didn't expect anything.
You obviously don't mind displaying your assets to the world now, do you?
I like to dress nice, but that doesn't give him any right.
Come now, Mr. Andrews. Do you expect us to believe you didn't know exactly what Mr. Jefferson was after that night?
What difference does that make? I was robbed.
Mr. Andrews, don't you think you bear some responsibility here?
What?
Your Honor, I don't see what point defense counsel is trying to make here.
Agreeing to have a drink with a man you hardly knew? Buying the first 2 rounds? The provocative dress?
Your Honor?
Isn't it fair to say that you were asking for what happened?
That's ridiculous.
You didn't fight back now, did you?
I told him to stop. I said no.
You said no, but you didn't really mean no, now did you?
Yes, I meant no.
What really happened that night, Mr. Andrews? You were having a good dinner, some nice conversation. You went someplace cozy for a nice after-dinner drink. You and Mr. Jefferson were having a good time. You made him think that you were going to give him everything he wanted. And that's exactly what you did do, isn't it?
No. He took it. He robbed me.
And this robbery was terribly upsetting to you, wasn't it, Mr. Andrews?
Yes.
So upsetting that you told police that you might never trust another man who asked you for money again. Isn't that so?
Yes, I'm sure I said that.
Defense Exhibit C, Your Honor. A canceled check made out to the Red Cross Hurricane Relief Fund. Is this your signature?
Yes.
Look at the date, Mr. Andrews. Could you please tell the court what it says?
September 9th.
I'm sorry, Mr. Andrews. Could you speak a little louder, please?
September 9th.
September 9th. 3 days after this alleged robbery, after this heinous crime which caused you to be distraught and mistrustful, you were giving your money away again. Hardly what one would expect from someone who was brutally robbed.
Objection!
Withdrawn. I have no further questions.
You may step down, Mr. Andrews. Mr. Andrews? Mr. Andrews? Mr. Andrews? Mr. Andrews? Mr. Andrews?
Tracy Jefferson's fans are celebrating today as the jury in his robbery trial came back with a verdict of not guilty. Legal experts we've spoken with all concur that this trial turned on the ability of the defense to deal a damaging blow to the accuser's credibility by painting him as an unreliable opportunist who had allowed, if not encouraged, the situation in which he found himself. Meanwhile, among the public, there is still much debate, a debate which may continue for years to come.
That Andrews guy should just move as far away as he possibly can, because nobody wants him in this town.